Dynamite download.
And then in the main event of the night, my goodness, the fireworks that happened
Oof.
in the match and then the post match. I'm sorry. Usually we start from the beginning of the show to the end, and we try to hit it in order. But coming off the heels of that main event, SPD, I don't know about you. I can't talk about anything until we get this off of our chests. You
I
know me.
know.
Pac is my favorite wrestler in the whole wide world.
I
To see
know.
him come back in this way, you've been calling for this for weeks now, long before Pac's return was ever imminent. What'd you think about how this all played out?
I know. I'm not gonna say I told you so, but I told you so.
Well, I'll
And
drink to that, brother. I'm happy to
cheers,
be
man.
put in my place. That was phenomenal. You
For
definitely did
sure.
call this a long,
And
long time ago.
yeah, we're gonna have to go back into the highlight reel and see where I actually did call that. But it was well before Pac was announced he was breaking his silence, and I could see the booking in the sky, in the stars. Like it just made sense. Eddie is hot, and he's got all these guys and his family, and it's kind of throwing out these seeds, throwing out these hints, and it's a perfect re-debut of Pac. And I think the timing is absolutely perfect. I think this could be, it's more than just a one-on-one feud. You're going to have the family division, as we saw, and you're going to have others involved. And it's a perfect segue with after the match that Eddie lost, which does him no hurt at all. It loses him zero momentum, in my
Nope.
opinion. But
Nope.
it's just, I'm excited. I cannot wait for them to finally go toe to toe. It's going to be, the fight for family. I don't know how you exactly book it or what you would call the title for their match, but it's going to be it's going to be amazing. And I think Pac's going to obviously have to come out on top and bring back be the leader of the Death Triangle.
Oh man, so as a fan of all three of those guys, we never really got a chance to
I
see
know.
that.
It was just a little tease.
We only had a tease of what that could have been, and for that to be potentially down the road, for Pac to come back and try to bring those two brothers who are now so divided, bring them back together,
Right.
and battle Kingston and his family. Man, is that going to make some great television? And that starts next week because we get to see Pac go up against the Blade, which promises to be a great match. I mean, the Blade we saw tonight is no stranger to violence. So that said, we're going to jump in right into the main event because this one really, SPD, before we get into anything else in this show, it's one of those main events that you're going to remember for a long, long time. The Lucha Brothers, anytime that they're in the ring, typically as a tag team, they steal the show. They're always incredibly entertaining. But as we've seen in recent weeks, Eddie Kingston really laid it on thick tonight with Penta being his best friend and him really highlighting how he feels like Penta is the superior of the two brothers. Pitting those two together against each other, we were seeing the writing on the wall where, really a team that was once cohesive. Imagine what those two could be doing if they worked together, right? If they push their energies together to try to go after the tag titles, right? Instead, they're tearing each other apart. And that match, I mean, literally, they were tearing the masks off of each other.
I know.
It was violent. It was brutal. They fought in a way that only – beautiful visual there, SPD. They fought in a way that only brothers could, and it was incredible.
Very well put.
Your heart starts to break as you see, really what they were willing to put each other through. And really that's where Pac comes in, and he could see the breaking up of that family, and he puts his arms around those guys. I cannot wait. A leader delete out of you, SPD. I have a feeling that you and I are both going to be on the same page on this one, right?
Oh, these are, you said it best. I mean, these are two of the best in-ring wrestlers in AEW or the world that I have ever seen. And they put on a hell of a match on their first one. But this second one was even better, if possible, because of the storytelling. You talked about the ripping of the mask. The ripping of the mask, it was very emotionally heavy, and it drew a lot.
Some of that coming off the heels of Fenix getting hurt and having to give up his match in the tournament, right?
Exactly.
Absolutely. The story for this match was so much deeper, right?
I agree. The ripping of the mask, as you spoke, I liked how they took turns ripping each other's masks off. I didn't want them to do a full rip and do a full reveal because that's just part of, the history and their look. But what I was a little bummed about was in picture they had this epic chop battle that looked insane, but you couldn't hear it. And I was just watching it and cringing because I know how vicious Penta's chops are, as I've spoke about time after time again.
Yeah, we almost got cheated. We saw a Penta match and we didn't get to hear the chops. It's not fair.
I agree. We did get cheated, but this by far to me is an elite match.
Oh,
as always, I mean, these guys could do no wrong in the ring, and they're continuing to be, deeper and better storytellers. And I've said all along that they're the best tag team in AEW, and I'm not ready for them to split up. So hopefully PAC's return can kind of win them back over and they can be brothers united. But if it's more matches of them against each other, that is all elite across the board for me.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that it would be phenomenal to see the Lucha Brothers team up again. Maybe you have PAC going against Kingston and you have the Lucha Brothers going against the Butcher and the Blade.
Right.
Really, whoever coming out on top, establishing themselves as title contenders. Certainly, I don't know about you, but the Lucha Brothers versus the Young Bucks, that sounds like an awesome match to me. I mean, I can only imagine what those guys could do in the ring together if all four of them are. The creativity of the Young Bucks and just the fluidity of the Lucha Brothers offense, I think that would be incredible. So that would be a great future that I could see ahead of us. I'm with you though, SPD. I don't know how anyone could really critique this match and put it into a negative way. Not only from a physicality standpoint, obviously the physicality of these two in the ring. Their styles work together so well. Penta obviously being a little bit more of the physical one, the bigger, the stronger of the two brothers. Fenix, he even had moves tonight where he came close to slipping and things like that. And we've seen other wrestlers fall short. He finds a way, even when his body seems to fail him or the elements seem to fail him, and we knew it rained tonight, he still executes his offense in a way that is just mind-blowing.
I agree.
He's truly a professional in a way that we don't get to see very often on television these days, and what he's able to accomplish. So from the physical aspect of the match, beautiful storytelling. The commentary throughout this match was fantastic. I thought Tony Schiavone, the interaction with Eddie Kingston throughout the match was really smart. And again, I think that Tony has slowly but surely become more of the chorus, pointing out the logic. Even last week when Taz pointed out some really smart points about how Brian Cage and Ricky Starks aren't getting the recognition they deserve.
Right.
Schiavone was the first to agree. Hey, I can't argue. And I think again here tonight he really highlighted some of the logic of what's going on and seeing, hey, these two brothers were once united and now they're decaying under you, Kingston. He helped play that story along.
Right.
That is what made this match even that much more memorable, was the story. So
I agree.
Kudos to the announce team on that. They really did a great job as far as feeding into the match, feeding into the story. That's something that AEW has done so well, and I have to give them credit for that. We'll talk more about some of these things that they remember, but even like the code, like the Mox versus Omega stipulation, how their first match was unsanctioned, and Omega pointing that out. I mean, they do a very nice job of making sure that their fans, those of us who are paying attention, who watch week in and week out, are rewarded with storytelling that is logical, that's connected, that is fluid, that actually builds off of something. It feels like a story, and that's what I really love. So no doubt about it, an elite from me as well.